The Snow Queen, A Tale of Love and Friendship. Once upon a time, in a distant land, there lived a beautiful but cold-hearted queen known as the Snow Queen. She was so stunning that anyone who saw her would be dazzled, but her heart was as cold as the winter winds. The Snow Queen had a magnificent palace made entirely of ice. There were mountains of snow, icy trees, and frozen lakes surrounding her palace. However, there was one strange thing about this land. Spring never came. The Snow Queen did not like warmth or the colors of spring. In a nearby village, there lived a young boy named Kai and his best friend Gerda. They were inseparable, always laughing and playing together. But one day, something terrible happened. The Snow Queen saw Kai through her magical mirror and took a liking to him. The Snow Queen decided she wanted to take Kai to her icy palace. One cold night, while everyone was asleep, the Snow Queen came in her enchanted sleigh and carried Kai away to her palace. As time passed, Kai began to feel the Queen's coldness, and slowly his heart turned to ice. When Gerda discovered that Kai was missing, she was heartbroken. She searched for him everywhere, but could not find him. Finally, she learned that the Snow Queen had taken Kai to her palace. Bravely, Gerda set out on a journey to find her friend. She crossed snowy mountains, endured the bitter cold, and met many helpful friends along the way: a wild reindeer, a bird, and a kind sorceress. They all guided and supported her in her quest. At last, Gerda reached the Snow Queen's palace. When she found Kai, he was silent and cold, as if all the love in his heart had vanished. Gerda, with tears in her eyes, held Kai's hands. Her love was so powerful that it melted the ice in his heart. Kai remembered his old life and broke free from the Queen's spell. The Snow Queen, furious at the sight, tried to stop them, but Gerda's love was stronger than any magic the Queen possessed. Defeated, the Snow Queen left, and Kai and Gerda returned to their village. As they arrived, the first warm breeze of spring blew, melting the snow and ice. Flowers bloomed everywhere, bringing joy and colour back to the land. Gerda's love had not only saved Kai, but also freed the entire kingdom from the Snow Queen's icy grip.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land surrounded by majestic mountains, there was a beautiful kingdom called Fairyland. The kingdom was ruled by a kind and gentle princess named Ella. Princess Ella was known not only for her beauty but also for her pure heart and honesty. She had a special gift: she could talk to all living creatures, whether they were birds, animals, or even the trees. Fairyland was a place filled with magic. The leaves on the trees sparkled, the river shimmered with rainbow colors, and at night, the stars in the sky seemed to sing lullabies. But one day, this enchanted land faced a great danger. A wicked sorceress named Maria entered Fairyland. Maria despised happiness and cast a dark spell over the kingdom. The once vibrant leaves on the trees began to wither. The birds fell silent, and the people of the kingdom grew sad and stayed inside their homes, filled with sorrow. Seeing her beloved kingdom in such a state, Princess Ella was deeply troubled. She decided that she had to do something to stop Maria and save her people. With her most loyal friends, a bird, a rabbit, and a little deer, Ella set out on a journey to the sorceress's castle. Along the way, Ella and her friends faced many challenges set by Maria's magical traps. But every time they encountered a difficulty, Ella trusted her friends and worked together with them to overcome the obstacles. Finally, they reached Maria's castle. Ella bravely confronted Maria and said, "I know your heart is filled with bitterness, but love and friendship are the greatest magic of all. I ask you to free Fairyland and let everyone live in happiness." At first, Maria ignored Ella's words. But as she looked into Ella's kind and sincere eyes, her own heart began to soften. Maria realized the power of love and friendship and decided to lift the curse. She promised never to harm anyone again. As soon as Maria's spell was broken, Fairyland returned to its former glory. The leaves on the trees began to sparkle once more. The birds sang joyfully, and the people danced in the streets. Their hearts filled with happiness. Everyone praised Princess Ella for her bravery and wisdom. They realized that it was her courage, love, and the power of trust and friendship that had saved them all. Ella, in turn, thanked her friends, knowing that trusting in them and working together was the true magic. And so, Fairyland became a place of everlasting joy, where everyone lived in harmony, love, and friendship, and they all lived happily ever after. The Queen of Dreams and the Magical Forest. In a land far, far away, where the skies shimmered like diamonds and the air was filled with the soft melodies of nature, there was a magical forest. This forest was unlike any other, for it was said that whoever entered would find themselves surrounded by their wildest dreams. The trees whispered secrets, the flowers glowed with colors unseen, and the rivers flowed with sparkling water that tasted of sweet honey. At the heart of this magical forest lived the Queen of Dreams. She was a gentle and wise ruler, with long flowing hair that sparkled like the night sky and eyes that twinkled with the light of 1,000 stars. She had the power to enter the dreams of all who slept, and with a wave of her hand, she could turn nightmares into the most wonderful dreams. One day, a little girl named Lily found herself lost in the woods near the magical forest. She had been chasing a beautiful butterfly, but it flew so fast that Lily soon lost her way. As the sun began to set, Lily grew frightened. The trees around her seemed to loom larger, and the shadows grew darker. Just when she thought she would never find her way home, she saw a soft, glowing light in the distance. Lily followed the light, and soon, she found herself standing at the edge of the magical forest. As she stepped inside, she felt a warm breeze wrap around her, and all her fear melted away. The trees swayed gently, welcoming her, and the flowers seemed to nod their heads in greeting. Lily knew she was in a special place. As she wandered deeper into the forest, she came across a beautiful garden filled with the most extraordinary flowers she had ever seen. In the center of the garden stood the Queen of Dreams, her presence as radiant as the moon. "Welcome, dear Lily," the Queen said in a voice as soft as a lullaby. "I have been expecting you." Lily was surprised. "You know my name?" The Queen smiled. "I know the name of every child who dreams. You see, this forest is a place where dreams come to life. And you, my dear, have a very special dream." Lily thought for a moment. "I wish I could find my way home. I'm lost and scared." The Queen of Dreams knelt down beside Lily and gently took her hand. "Close your eyes, my child, and think of the place you call home. Imagine it with all your heart." Lily closed her eyes and pictured her cozy little house, her mother's warm embrace, and the smell of cookies baking in the oven. As she did, the forest around her began to change. The trees bent to form a path, and the flowers bloomed in the shape of arrows, pointing the way home. When Lily opened her eyes, the Queen of Dreams was smiling at her. "Follow the path, and it will lead you home. But remember, whenever you feel lost or afraid, you can always return to the magical forest in your dreams. I will be here, watching over you." Lily hugged the Queen tightly and thanked her. She followed the path, and just as the Queen had promised, it led her straight to the edge of the forest and back to her own world. As Lily looked back at the magical forest, she saw the Queen of Dreams standing at the entrance, her figure glowing softly in the twilight. Lily waved goodbye, knowing that she would never forget the magical forest, or the Queen who had shown her the way home. And from that day on, whenever Lily closed her eyes to sleep, she knew that the Queen of Dreams and the magical forest would be there. She knew that the Queen of Dreams and the magical forest would be there, waiting for her in the land of dreams.